Hello and welcome back to the Law Masters. Today we're going to be going into the Spartan II program of the Halo series. The Spartan II program was formed by the United Nations Space Command, UNSC. They are part of the Branch Naval Special Warfare Command. They are used for special operations with the size of Class 1, 75 subjects before augmentation and 33 plus after the augmentation. Class 2 had unknown numbers. The equipment they used was the Molyneux Power Assault Armour with artificial intelligence. The battles they fought in was the Insurrection, the Human Covenant War, Sangheili Civil War and the Requiem Campaign. The decorations they had was all major military honours except the Prisoner of War Medallion. And the commanders of the project was Frederick 104, John 117, Franklin Mendez and Dr. Catherine Halsey. The project originated in the years following the deactivation of the Orion project in 2506. The effectiveness of the small special forces units at combating the insurrectionists had diminished as the insurrectionist movement became too large for the UNSC to manage. As insurrectionists became more effective and the military's responses to consequently became more forceful, the need for large-scale military campaigns became more and more obvious. In 2517, the Office of Naval Intelligence began to re-examine the Carver findings, which had warned the instability in the outer colonies years earlier. The report concluded that the instability would continue to escalate and unless drastic military measures were taken, would result in a massive war between the inner and outer colonies. ONI's own projections at the time and up to 2525 reached the same conclusions as Dr. Carver's report. The Spartan II Project was conceived by Catherine Halsey of ONI Section 3's Special Project Division as the successor of the Orion Project and the best possible solution to the end of the widespread insurgency that raged throughout the UNSC space. The project was created with several goals in mind. The first was to create a group of elite super soldiers meant to subdue the insurrectionists in their infancy, without substantial military casualties. The second goal was to minimize civilian casualties and avert civil war. The third goal was to substantially reduce the cost of conventional means of pacification. Halsey's proposal for the project detailed radical changes in many different fields. The first and most controversial was the subjects themselves, who were selected by the gene candidate pool and fit into certain age restriction protocol for 6-year-olds. They also possess superior physical and mental attributes when compared to other children their age. This narrowed candidates down to children who would be raised and taught in the art of warfare and military values from a young age, which can be taught to older enlisted personnel. Using such controversial means of creating a soldier meant that the project would have to be carried out under the highest levels of secrecy. Through conventional body armour have served to protect soldiers for centuries. The Spartan II's project, second radical change, involved integrating the subject with a new powered exoskeleton device designed to help keep its users safe and provide a powerful means of combating enemy forces. The drawback of this new armour is its requirements augmenting the subject, effectively turning the Spartans into human guinea pigs. Despite the tremendous risk and the unethical means of creating new soldiers, the Spartan II Project got the green light by the top brass within the Office of Naval Intelligence, who concluded that the lives that could be saved far outweighed the risks involved. The project was initially granted funding for 300 candidates, though funding was later reduced to half this number by 2517. 150 suitable candidates had been identified through DNA gathered from the CIA's outer colony vaccination program, but funding was further reduced to support again, only half that number. 75 children, 5 and 6-year-olds, and both sexes were kidnapped. In order to preserve the program's secrecy, the children were replaced by flash clones, which would die soon thereafter due to numerous medical complications associated with flash cloning a human being. Training the Spartan IIs. When asked, Dr. Catherine Halsey replied with, "First we taught them how to be silent, then we taught them how to be Spartans." The Spartan II candidates, after being abducted and sedated, were taken to the colony world of Reach and began their training under Chief Petty Officer Mandez. To marginalise their civilian lives they once had led, their names became a combination of their given names and numbered service tag. The family names they were being discarded. The Spartans endured a great deal of hardship during their first years of training. They were placed into situations and drills that pushed their abilities to their very limit and beyond. Their hard training was complemented with high-level education, which included mathematics, science, physics, reading, writing, and military tactics. Although his training methodology was tough and even brutal in some regards, Chief Petty Officer Mandez always instilled discipline, honour, and respect into the Spartans. He taught the Spartans how to kill, but at the same time he taught them the difference between right and wrong. Mandez trained the Spartans until 25, when at the age of 14 they would go through the toughest part of their training, the biological augmentation procedures, which would kill 30 of the 75 conscripted children and cripple 12 others who will wash out, as I said, of the Spartan II program. Additionally, while the procedures were taking place, the subjects were unconscious, a state where they should have felt no pain. The Spartans felt enormous pain throughout the process, with each augmentation having its own type of pain. Subsequently, some of which did not successfully pass the augmentation process went on to join the Office of Naval Intelligence, while others were given an honourable medical discharge, aside from 33 which survived the procedure with no physical deformities. The bodies of those candidates who died were placed in cryosuspension in hope that one day they could be resuscitated. At least some of the candidates who were crippled were eventually rehabilitated. Several elements of the candidate training were kept secret from Halsey that only Professor Agnes and Professor Mike, who worked on the project with her, knew about. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, please leave a subscribe. If you have any ideas how I can improve in my narrating skills, please send a message down below. Thank you for your support.